Hello, and welcome to WTRF Channel 1 News. I'm Max Negebauer, and I'm here with Alicia Brown. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me this evening. I'm looking forward to our time.
Yeah, you're very welcome, and thank you, Alicia, for allowing me to interview you. I have several questions for you, and am I free to go ahead and ask them?
Sure.
Thank you very much. Now, what was your journey to get your undergraduate degree?
Well, I've had a very unique journey in getting my undergraduate degree. I started right after college, but due to some extenuating circumstances with health, I had a delay in going back, had surgery, and then delayed. So I really did not get my undergraduate degree until after I had my 5 kids and got married. So with that, my oldest son graduated in 2008, and I finished December 2008 with my undergraduate degree. I had 3 years under my belt before then.
Okay, that's really cool. It's interesting. Uh, what inspired you to become a special ed teacher?
Again, I really have such a unique journey in terms of even what I'm doing career wise. I've always had a heart for working with students who were struggling or may not be at the top of the class. Through the years, when I was in college, I was working with students, helping them learn how to write papers. That carried over when I had my kids and they were young in school. So I would go and to the classrooms and volunteer and working with the students that were struggling. Um, I also did a lot of working with clients in a tutoring type session, coaching session. And a lot of those students were students who had learning differences. And so I'm really operating out of my gifting, and the opportunity is there. And I really love seeing every student succeed, regardless of how they're wired, regardless of how they learn.
Okay, I really like that. That's very impressive. Now, what made you decide to go from a homeschool co-op to a Catholic school environment?
That's a very good question. I actually went from a homeschool setting to a classical Christian school to a Catholic high school. And a lot really stemmed from with the transition from homeschool to going into another private school. They sought me out. They heard about the work that I had been doing um, with students and asked if I would be willing to come aboard. And I was there for 15 years, which I really enjoyed and served in a lot of different capacities. And then after my tenure there, and just wanting something different, the door opened for me to go to a Catholic high school and work with students who have learning differences. And because I had been doing that all along, it just seemed like a very seamless effort. It was really a great fit, and I'm really enjoying the environment in which I'm in.
Okay, yeah, 15 years. Wow, that seems like an amazing and successful time for, career.
It is. I really am passionate about education. Those who understand how they learn, they're going to get it regardless of the setting. I really enjoy working with students who have learning differences, who struggle, who may need to understand what different strategies they need to learn in order to do well. One of the things that I didn't share earlier, Max, when you asked, was that I actually have 2 kids who learn differently as well. That started my homeschool journey. For my daughter, she had a language processing challenge, and we pulled her when she was in elementary school homeschooled her for a couple of years. And then when I went back to work at a school, my kids came, well, 4 out of the 5 of my kids came with me. But I think when I look at my daughter, when I look at my son, I sit there and I think about how they've learned, they understood what they needed because they were given the skill sets, the intervention strategies, and they've done well. My daughter now has her doctorate, which I think is really significant. And she did that at the age of, let's see, 24.
Okay. You seem to be creative in the way you approach a student's education. How did you learn to think outside the box, or does that come naturally?
I think I'm really wired out of how my God given design. I tend to think differently. I see the potential in people. I see what they have to offer. I dream big for them and want to do whatever I can to come alongside of them to really help them. I think, given that, I realize that sometimes traditional ways may not work. And so I'm willing to try and keep looking at different ways, different strategies, coming up with new ideas until we have those aha moments. So I'm a diehard in that way. I don't want the students to settle, therefore I can't settle.
Okay. Um, what's the hardest part and the easiest part of your job?
In a lot of ways, I don't feel like I'm working because I enjoy it so much. So that's the easy part. I look forward, spending time with the students. I look forward to the challenges. I love when a student doesn't get it, not because I want to see them struggle, but that offers opportunities not only for the student to grow, but for me as well, trying different strategies, different ways of thinking, different methods just to see them bloom and blossom where they're planted. I think the hardest thing for me, because I'm so passionate, I take it hard when a student isn't successful because I feel like I have failed them. I know they have their responsibility. I know I have mine, but when I'm in it, I look at it 100% me. I tell the student, look at it 100% there, and it's somewhere in the middle. But I really, the hardest part is really wanting every student to succeed, and I bellyache when they all don't.
Okay. And I have one last question, or excuse me, one last question. Um,
Sure.
what advice do you have for students like me on the autism spectrum in seeking their college education?
I am really excited for you. When I read that in the question, I thought, oh, that's so exciting. I'm actually working on certification with autism spectrum disorders. And the advice I would give you is continue to pursue your dreams. You are really in a great position at this point in time because so many doors have opened for students on autism spectrum. There's more understanding, more opportunity. I would continue to just surround yourself with people that will support you, maximize your strengths, and then be open to those that want to see you grow more. I am really so excited for you. And I know that whatever you're doing, you're going to do really well and thrive and grow in amazing ways.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So that's all the time we have, and that's all I have the questions for you. And thank you so much for your time, Alicia. This has been an honor. It's been an honor to talk with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Max. This has been an honor to be interviewed by you. Thank you so very much for the opportunity.
You're very welcome. I'm This has been an interview with Alicia Brown. I'm Max Negebauer, and you have been watching WTRF Channel 1 News.